Hello, welcome back to Actual Play Twilight Throne and the Houses of Ruin. We're in part two, and the child is now Azrael. He has claimed the power or channeled the power of the Avatar of Death, and spooky how natural he's receiving it. I think when I left in private chat, I saw Connie. You say, "I have thoughts." And I want to hear them.
Oh yeah. We've been thinking. We've been chatting in the private chat.
Oh, there it is. Okay, yes.
Not that you need to look at it. No, don't worry about it, Sean. Don't,
I was
don't look at it.
kidding
It's
too.
fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
No, okay, great. I won't then. That's fine. I could.
We're kidding. You can look. Your character can't look, but you can.
Your character can't look, but you can. Yeah.
Yeah, Eloise is going to be busy scooping up remnants of the Avatar of Death and the Obsidian Skeleton's hand. So I'm sure you can pull off all sorts of things and like marveling at her son's accomplishments and all that jazz.
I've got to play. I'm ready to get back into it. I've got a game plan. I'm ready to go.
Oh, let's do it. Yeah. What's Kavar up to?
Oh, well, I think in the aftermath of this becoming, Kavar, after seducing Eloise's chosen sister, is gonna go up to the other chosen sister of that pair, up to Eloise and the newly minted child, actually. And you're gonna sort of see Kavar just sort of lazily clapping, like as the nobles scatter and start to lose interest in this charade, right? Eloise, congratulations. Looks like your child finally has a name. And is it Azrael?
Azrael.
Azrael.
She says it and it like draws it out like she's trying to hold on to it. Like she's trying to keep from finishing saying it.
Azrael, you have learned a valuable lesson about personhood. Becoming is always violent. And she picks up like a shattered shard of the blade and like helps hand it over.
Oh, to Azrael.
Yeah.
I think like Azrael like takes the shard and like, I think there's a moment when like Azrael takes the shard with one hand but uses the other hand to like hold yours, Kavar, right? And like looking into your eyes allows the shard to like cut through the skin for a moment, and then you see like the wound like reform almost instantly, leaving not a scar.
Has the child ever spoken before? Like, have they ever said anything?
Barely, and never to you.
Yeah, I think like we've seen like them whisper something to Eloise, but I don't think Azrael has ever certainly not in any kind of public forum or anything like that. Yeah.
So him talking to Chalcedony in front of everybody was like most people were like, I thought the child didn't speak.
Talk.
Yeah. I mean, they really didn't, and he does, and Azrael does. Yeah.
Well, Azrael, consider this a housewarming gift to someone who has finally achieved a name. And Kavar's gonna gesture outward toward, I think, down like a massive, beautifully opulent hallway, like toward like a pleasure dome. That's not just like sensual and erotic pleasures, but just like beautiful foods, that like these really nice delights, like deep massages and like beautiful like art, like stage plays and like paintings. It's just a hall full of like earthly and heavenly delights, right? I think now that you've earned a name, you get to earn yourself a sense of self and being, independence, one might say. And Kavar's eyes flicker over to Eloise and to Azrael. Yeah. And she's trying to entice the child away so she can get Eloise alone, because she's never seen Eloise just by herself before.
Yeah, and Eloise, like right now, is in this sort of fawning state over Azrael, like very happy that he has come to his own, but also when you say like you should go over there and do this thing, like you can tell it it's not like it's threatening to her. Like, she's not that she doesn't want Azrael to do those things, but she wants nothing more than to like experience, like do things. Like, she's never been able to do things with her child. Like, they've always been this like super protected, delicate thing that like can't be touched. And now it's like, I want to go explore the world with you. I want to go on adventures with you. I want to go do things with you. And so when you're like, you go over there, you can tell that like it's like hard for Eloise to, like, she knows she should let go of him to go do his own thing, but it's also she doesn't wanna. So I think you might also need to entice might be on both of them, right? Like,
I'm
or it might
open
be,
to that.
or the complication may be that she wants to follow. You might have to resist or something like that. I think that's where and it's not even like she doesn't want him to go. It's that she wants to go do things with him and
Sure.
stuff,
Yeah.
so.
With that in mind, I think Kavar's eyes like lock onto you, and like a smile lifts the edge of her mouth crookedly. Eloise, Eloise, Eloise. Isn't such a big part of motherhood learning to let go? Letting your child figure out who he is without you pulling every string, offering every thread of the safety net underneath his feet. Let him become.
I think she looks back to you and says, it's the greatest. And I'm like 100% channeling my own like experience as a father. Like it's such a delight to see what he has become, and yet if there is still a place in his heart for me, if there is not, so be it. I have given him the love that I can. But if there's still a place in his heart for me, then I will not lose that opportunity to be at his side.
Oh, Eloise, who says there's no place in his heart when he's away from you? Haven't you heard the human saying, distance makes the love grow thicker? Something like that. I don't really listen to people when they talk, but they have little nuggets of wisdom in their tiny, pathetic little spans of life, don't you think?
I think that let's see a roll.
The entice roll? Okay.
Oh,
let's do an
actually,
entice roll.
I do have something to offer you. So, Connie, you won't even have to roll because you notice, like, as this conversation is happening, Chalcedonia and Azrael cannot take their eyes off each other.
Mm-hmm.
You recognize.
We've established that the child is not like the child had reached the age of majority. Like Azrael is in their in his 20s.
Yeah, child is just in reference to your relationship to them, not in how young they are.
Yeah, and I think it's also because we're all like a million years old from the like perspective of the house. They are still very young, but they are also a consenting age and of adult age, right? But
yeah, totally. But thank you for like, just so people listening understand.
Yeah, just so we know.
Yeah,
Israel can make his own entrances.
True. But yeah, so you can tell like these two are like absolutely drawn to each other, and like knowing what you know, like this is complicated, right? So if you encourage Chalcedonia to escort Azrael, right, through these pleasures. I'm going to say like Chalcedonia is going to make sure that Eloise is not going to follow, right? By like the rules of the host and the House of Sword and Halo, it would be rude for Eloise to like.
I feel like if they went off together, romantic or otherwise, like sensual, sexual, romantic or otherwise, if they went off together, Eloise would know that Azrael had like chosen his companion, right? Like I think I don't think Chalcedonia would have to do anything to stop her from pursuing. So yeah, I think I don't want to take agency away from either of us as players, but I do kind of love the idea that both of us are like conniving back and forth, and then we just look over and we see the two of them like walking away, and we're like, they just fucked off while we were talking. I kind of love that idea.
Yep. Kavar, I think maybe both of you are grossed out, right? Like by that, like And maybe we find like some common ground and like our shared grossed outedness.
Yeah, right. Like what? Like
What?
No, how could
Uh.
you? No. Yeah.
Well, maybe it is best you didn't follow Azrael after all.
Nope. I don't need to infringe at all. But I mean, nothing against you. I don't speak ill. But Sword and Halo. Okay.
That's the umbrage you take? Chalcedonia is a snail without a shell that's been left out under the sun to rot and fester.
I just wasn't going to say that because it's not my place as not a member of your house. I was hoping
appreciate that.
the battle would not be so. I was hoping the battle might have been slightly more evenly matched.
At this point, Ada kind of just materializes next to you and hands you a bucket. Feels like you might have needed that.
Huh.
Yeah.
How
yeah,
subtle.
I mean, Eloise was definitely hoping that your brother was gonna like suffer some horrible wound in this battle. She didn't expect him to make it out of it unscathed. But
yeah, I think Kavar clocks that. My brother is many things: a fool, a liar, a cheat, a horrible little frog. But he is not bad at dueling. None of us are.
No. And he has made your parents very, very proud of him today.
Let's not linger on such disgusting familial details, Eloise. This is a party. Let's cut loose and have some fun, no?
Oh, I wanted to loot the remains of of my own house. Like she's suddenly like super macabre. She's like, I want body parts, right? Like she's just like, she's like, I came here to claim things, and so one of her things she wants to get is like a remnant of the Avatar of Death, like some broken bit of the statue. The other thing she wants is the literal physical hand of the obsidian skeleton. So she's like got this like very macabre desire to like obtain all of these relics, but that can absolutely be done in tandem with,
Sure.
I mean, we're right here right now, so she's just gonna like scoop. Oh yeah, sure, let's go party. How about we party over there where the anyway.
There's some sort of ritual for preparing the dead or undead that has to be performed, right?
Yeah,
you're just helping,
right? Yeah.
Yes, well, why don't we pick up the scattered remnants of the Avatar of Death on our way to this 1,000-year-old wine bar I've arranged to be set up for this party.
That sounds delightful. Just the refreshments that I need. Do you mind taking in your glorious sunset for just a moment? She sort of like wants you to look away for just a second. You can look away or not. It doesn't matter. But then she like pulls back the veil and like the tendrils pull out and just like all these broken bits of the statue. She just like consumes and devours. In that like space doesn't work. Like it's a giant statue that was this big. And just like when we come back, there's just like little bits of broken clay and whatnot as her veil is reset. Yeah, she just didn't want you to see her lose decorum that way for a moment.
I think Kavar does turn away, but while she turns away, she's looking at the sunset, but also mentions to Ada in a voice loud enough for Eloise to hear, "Oh, Ada, so sorry to trouble you, but you're so good at finding things. Do you mind trying to locate where my Astra might have gone off to?" And I think that's like using a code, like speaking in a code to like enact the plan.
The plan's going into effect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, she couldn't have gotten very far after all.
I don't think so. I would be most grateful.
She kind of just slips back into a shadow.
Nice. And you hear the kind of noises. And then veil is restored and wine, you say?
Yes. Wine. Kavar says, like, completely ignoring, like, the disgusting slurping tentacle noises that just emitted from behind your carapace.
Yeah.
And, like, guides you off toward a bar.
Cool.
This totally reminds me of that, there's a GIF, a video. I think it was a Japanese game show, and there's this very dainty femme host and a guy, and they're eating cotton. There's a race to eat cotton candy, and he's like, yeah, and she like yanks it off the stick, shoves it in her mouth, and she's just like,
I've seen that gif. It's so funny. So girl power.
I need to look for that. Oh my god!
I will see if I can find it for you. It is amazing.
Amazing. All right. So I think we cut to we follow Ida, right? As we enact the plan. So as we discussed through chat, because things have been going, I feel like as a GM I'm not allowed to say how things are going. But anyway, we are in a position where if we want to start guiding the House of Ash and Flame to annihilation and destroy the house, we are in ample position to do so, right? Because of the nature of these things. So Ida, how do you go and like start about on this plan?
I think.
But yeah, let me open up the house. I'm just going to look at our. Oops, that was the House of Kong and Gear.
I think I go looking for one of the nobles. From Ash and Flame.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, I realize I haven't picked them out yet, so I'm just gonna do the fun thing of just like picking out like
3 random people. Let's go.
Yeah, well, let's do it.
I think you unhid them, so we should have their. Where are they? Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, no worries. I'm already. Ooh.
Oh yeah, you're already doing it. You're already connecting the wolf commander. I love it.
Yeah, because that sounds super hot, right? Do I want the flesh catcher or the third hand, or the soul? I like how. Okay, I'm gonna go with the soul broker, and then let's do blood servants. Let's make them hot. Jura the Last Kissed. All right. So
nice.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Jura the Last Kissed. Oh yeah. Do you want to go? Like, how powerful a noble do you want to like go after? Right? Like, do you want to go after the elder, someone who's like fairly powerful, or like one of the lower powered nobles of the House of Ash and Flame?
Yeah, sure. Let's go after the Wolf Commander.
Ooh, nice. Okay, so because Ray is Ray, I have to find a hot pick.
Absolutely.
You need a hot wolf. I mean, that should not be hard to find.
This should not
Furries are a blessing to us
all
for so many reasons, but one of them is hot wolves.
That's true. Should I just? I feel like the moment I type wolf furry in Pinterest,
You're
it's gonna
doomed.
explode. Because wolves are like such a... Oh, this one's pretty good though. This one's not too bad. Okay, so let's see. Ooh. So I'm not gonna spend too long, because if that happens, we could be here like all evening.
We could stare at Pinterest all night long.
Which, it's totally a thing.
Yeah, it's totally a thing. Not a bad thing necessarily, but ooh.
Just as like a player question, is your goal to like get started on the downfall of the House of Ash and Flame, so like our next scheme could be to take them out, or is the goal to like finish them off completely, like do all the things needed to destroy them in this game? I ask purely out of time. Like, are we playing another hour or so? Like, are we playing right up to the line to try and like squeeze it all in this scheme, or is it like more of a setup for the following scheme?
I get the feeling it's probably more of a setup, because I don't know if we're going to be able to get 2 in 1. Because like some of the other things required for are going to be a little more tricky than just what we're able to do.
Yeah, what do we need to do? Like, I realize that Eloise is being betrayed, but like, I am all for this. Like, are you going for? We have 2 options. Are you going to scavenge them after they are consumed?
But
or are you?
They haven't been consumed yet. Yeah, because like that happens with the Clock of Ruin. Like,
oh, I see. So you're going for annihilating them,
guiding them. Yeah.
free every demon from the 1,000 cities of hell, trick the demons to give away their power, compromise a powerful noble, definitely doable. Oh, that says root and vine, but I'm sure it means Ash and Flame.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Gain
Yeah, I
access to secret throne in hell. Maybe seems like you could. Yeah, seems like you could do some of those. Like,
yeah, I
get
think we
started.
probably get 2. 3 is a little gonna be tricky though. So
Yeah, so we see how it goes. Okay, I have gotten. That's exactly enough time for me to settle.
did you find us an NPC? Did we find a hot
Nice.
wolf guy?
I did. I
Ooh.
did.
Well,
Okay.
I like.
Okay. So yeah. But yeah, okay. Wolf Commander, just typing that. But also correcting, let's see, House of Ash and Flame, right? But yeah, okay. Yeah, House of Ash and Flame. Right. This is what happens when I copy and paste a lot. Okay. So but yeah, okay, perfect. So you see the Wolf Commander, I think like we were talking about pleasure and all of that. The Wolf Commander is just like going all out, right? So if there's like one bar with the 1,000-year-old wine, like here instead is like this is a place of like pleasurable food to be had, right? And you hear the Wolf Commander say like, for a bunch of angels, they do know how to feed people, I suppose, right? And compared to the other elders, like the Wolf Commander is like far more laid back. I mean, for one thing, the house is not as powerful as the other houses, supposedly. So he doesn't have to put on as much airs, right? But for another, the Wolf Commander was like a warrior long before he like rose up through the ranks, right? And you also know that the Wolf Commander is like they've prepared a hunt, right, for members of the party, and so the Wolf Commander is like going to take part of that hunt. And what you see of him is he's this huge, hulking, like anthropomorphic, like wolf figure, and there's always just this like red fog that like shifts and comes out of his mouth and moves around him. The eyes flash between gold and red every so often. He doesn't bother to like wear clothes or anything like that, like which is like very easy when you have to go to parties and you don't have to think about what you have to wear. But you can see he has like an assistant who's like, my dear lord, could we at least like a crown, a cravat, anything?
I feel like he's got like one of those like belly dancer style like belts that's like it's like a chain kind of belt that kind of just like barely rests over the hips. It doesn't actually cover necessarily anything. It's just it's like a bit of ornamentation.
Perfect. I love that so much.
Like it could maybe have a sword on it or something like that, but it definitely doesn't need to. It's there for decoration.
But yeah, so what you know of the House of Ash and Flame is that they used to like rule over a significant portion of the underworld, but the House of Blood and Bone took quite a lot of that, right? So they're far less powerful than they used to be, but they're still the broker of souls, right? They're the ones who oversee most of the transactions of the soul market and so on. But yeah, so what do you do?
So I think I find a plate and fill it with like the tastiest of morsels, but like portions, not like dainty bites, like wolf portions. And I like kind of wander over to where the commander is, and just kind of hover, not really hover's not the right word. Loiter, that's the better word. Kind of near where he is. Just kind of like offer the plate every so often, wait for him to take a snack, take it back. Just kind of not really serving him, but like just like I'm eating from the plate, he's eating from the plate. We're just two pals hanging out, 5 feet apart. No wait, that's a different thing. Just kind of chilling, trying to see what's interesting to him as he's looking out. So I'm kind of scoping him out while I'm just chilling here.
Ooh, nice. So, you notice like as the two of you are hanging out but not hanging out, right? Like, he's watching as things unfold. He is. You realize there's something canny about him, right? Because someone mentions, "Oh, the House of Blood and Bone like showed him power," like blah 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 blah. Like they're talking about how well the House of Blood and Bone did, and there's a moment where the Wolf Commander says, we'll see how true that is for how long, right? And he's not trying to be coy about it, right? Like you can tell that he's picked up on something, right? He's picked up that something is going on, but he doesn't know the three of you did it, right? Like he just knows that something has happened to like weaken the House of Blood and Bone. Like you see him like sniffing the air every so often, right? And you can tell like he's sensing things that he doesn't necessarily like share or act on. So you have a feeling that the Wolf Commander knows a lot about what's going on, but chooses not to act on it, which is very strange for a noble. Because for most of the other nobles, it's the opposite, where they don't really know what's going on and they act in their best interest as much as possible, because rich people are stupid.
You're not wrong.
But yeah, so but that's what you're picking up, for sure. But you also notice like every once in a while, like an enticing person tries to come by to tease the Wolf Commander, and just as polite. It's a party, right? And he's never interested.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So like after a while, like somebody like he politely turns somebody down. And I see him sniffing again. It's like, you feel it too, huh?
Oh, my lady, and what is it that I should feel? And he smiles, like friendly, like with you.
Something's different.
Oh, it is in fact indeed very, very different. I have a feeling that by the time this party is over, the rules may have changed to favor others.
Well, the wheel constantly turns. Whose
It's
turn is
true.
it to be on top, do you think?
It's true. I think whoever's going to be on top is whoever is turning the wheel allows it to be. He says, like, very pointedly, and he says, You're the one most favored by Mutakad, aren't you?
For the moment.
Ah, I do appreciate a woman who understands how horrible men can be.
Not just men, but yes. The powerful often are whimsical.
It's true. And I, unfortunately, my dear, do not possess the whimsy or the imagination to be very good with my power. And I mean, he smiles, like he shows his many, many teeth, right? And that red fog, like you realize the fog is moving in to encapsulate the both of you. It's kind of like him saying, like, yeah, come closer. I like hanging out with you. You're a chill person. That kind of vibe.
I think you're probably more powerful than you think.
Well, for a fallen house, not so bad, he says, smiling about it. I'm still alive. Might not be true tomorrow, but for now, I'm still alive.
Tomorrow is not promised to any of us.
Ah, but my lady, who do you promise your tomorrows to?
Why, to our gracious ruler, of course.
Of course, the great and mighty Mutakard, for whom we all owe our power to. May they forever protect us from the worst of our inclinations and our curses. And like, he's going through the motions of what you're supposed to say, but he's smiling about it. And like that canny eye again, right? Through the wolf fur, he says, I don't think you need Mutagat to give you power. I think you're the type to just take it if you like it. I've heard about how good you are with certain, and then you see him like struggle. I hear you're very good at killing people. He just like lays it out on the table.
She actually does laugh. She's like, honesty is refreshing. I do possess a certain amount of skill in that arena.
Well, would you believe, as a demon wolf, that I too am pretty good at killing people?
I am unsurprised.
But, and then that's when he like comes closer. There is one person that I can't quite. What is it that they like to say? Take care of. There's
You're
one
being
person I
polite
cannot
about it.
tear apart with my teeth, and I would. Oh, I think about their bones in my jaw and their flesh beneath my claws, and it is beyond me. But perhaps it's not beyond you.
I suppose that would depend on who we're referring to.
Well, and he smiles, and he says, "There is one person, someone from the house of Vine and Root." He says, "Kilra, the hunted. She owes me." And the thing is, you've heard the story. Like, you know that the Wolf Commander and Kilra were once lovers. You know that Kilra murdered the child that they had. But you don't, no one knows. Like, I say
The
no
whole
one knows.
story. Yeah.
Everyone knows, but it's a different story, right? It's a conflicting story. Like, some people say she was forced to do it. Other people say the Wolf Commander forced her. Da, 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 da. It was an accident. It was tragic. Blah, blah, blah. He was the one who manipulated. Da, 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 da. Like, it's all just like, some people even claim that the child never even existed. But yeah, so there's a lot of like conflicting things. And so you didn't know, like, this happened a long time ago. So you didn't even know that there was any remaining, because let's be honest, among nobles, people kill each other all the time.
Yeah.
Right? If you held a grudge, so you're surprised that he still holds the grudge, or it seems like he does.
I imagine losing a child is never easy.
And there's a moment when the fog turns black instead of red. And he says, no, it isn't. It stays with you. The ghosts of what could have been. He says, smiling a little sadly. He doesn't even bother trying to hide his emotions with you.
It's that underestimating thing again. Yeah.
It is. It is, in fact. It's very useful to you, though.
I know. So, if someone were to, what was the term you used? Take care of her for you, what would it be worth?
Oh, what is it that the House of Ash and Flame has to offer someone like you? And I think there's a moment where, like, you see him consider you, and I could give you information. I hear of things. The souls whisper of many, many things, and so there's a moment where he says, "You have the look of someone about you who could use this information."
Information is always useful. But is it the House of Ash and Flame that asked this? Or the Wolf Commander?
Ooh. And then when you ask that, he like laughs uproariously and he goes, "That is the first time someone has seen a difference between my house and me. Oh, it's been too long." And he says, "Well, it is a favor to me, but I think the House of Ash and Flame could seek to work with the House of Glass and Clay. It's been a while, but you are not as fragile as you seem. So perhaps a partnership is in order."
Perhaps. And what information is it that you think interests me?
And I think like he looks at you and he says, "Well, I mean, I'm not much of a gossip. I do try sometimes though. But uh everyone has been talking about Azrael. Is it? And Azrael's mysterious past. I may have a few souls who know about it.
Mm. It's always good to know where the path of a rising star has been.
It's true. It's true. Right. And I'm looking at one of your promises that you made
Yep.
about how the child spark was stolen. So you can sense like, but it's strange that he knows that that's what you're looking for. Right. Almost too convenient.
Yeah, right? A little weird.
Mhm.
I shall see what I can do about your problem.
Very well, he says. And I think like things are going so well you don't even have to roll for this, but I think you've definitely compromised the elder in your favor, right? Like promising this to him. Uh I think like it's safe to check it. Like in case something happens, we might unmark it, but
Yeah,
but definitely he's very intrigued with you. And like so he at that moment, like you hear in the distance, the hunts are will shortly begin, my lords, right? And he stands up, bows deeply to you. He's a little out of practice. It's a pretty good bow though, all things considered, right? The spirit's there.
she curtsies
um,
back.
I mean, wolf bow. It's a
Yeah.
weird conscious thing.
exactly. And he says, but before I depart, my dear lady. And then he like from beneath his fur, like he didn't realize he's like wearing a necklace. It's one of those things like, like how my cat, sometimes you can't see they're wearing a collar because the fur is so thick. So like his fur was so thick and going over, like he didn't realize he was like wearing this like medallion of some kind. He like takes it off and it's really huge, right? But as he moves it towards your neck, it becomes small. Like it like shifts to respond to you. And then there's like a engraved on the medallion is this wolf holding down onto like this fiery like symbol right in his jaws. And he says, know that this means that you have gained favor with the house of Ash and Flame. Perhaps there's very little difference between my house and myself.
She accepts it. I think she doesn't put it on her neck because necks are touchy.
Constrict. I propose that is listed as an asset for Misha. Like if we're on the
That's
fence about
correct.
saying whether or not he was compromised, if you're like don't quite not sure what you said, or even if we do say he's compromised, like I feel like this is should
Oh, yeah.
certainly be an asset that could help.
That's
with this and maybe other
true.
things, but
Yeah. So let's write it down in personal advantages. I'm going to
Right.
put here, like, favored by House of Ash and Flame. And you can use this, like, truth at any point that you like.
So she wraps it around her wrist. So it kind of, and if it continues shrinking like it had been, I imagine it kind of turns into more of a bracelet kind of thing.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things where it like responds to your desire and it becomes this bangle with like these several charms on it, right? So you see like several wolf heads, and like a few daggers in between, and just a few teeth. It's very subtle, super subtle. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, get it. Yeah. I should do that. Okay. So yeah, what was the name of the other person? Kavar? Not Kavar. Not Kavar.
Oh, Kilra the Hunted.
Kilra. Got it.
Yeah.
I see you nodding there, Connie, like, hey,
I was like, wait, that's me.
Nope.
the back, yeah, the betrayals continue.
It's true.
And Kilra was Root and Vine.
Yes. I will, of course, get a picture for you shortly, but yeah. Ooh. Do I want someone pretty or someone creepy?
Yes.
Maybe both. Like both would be good. Oh, here we go. I did find. Wow, this is. I just want to check? Do we have a thing for what do you call it? Trypto, like a
extra like holes trypophobia.
Yeah. Does anyone have a problem with that in the group? Just want to check. Okay.
No, I'm not sure what the word is, but like extra. That's fine.
With like lots of little holes. Yeah.
I'll put it in, and if we don't like it, I will immediately change it out. So, but yeah.
Drum roll.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
interesting.
That's cool.
Oh, it's like hands.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so weird. I love it. It's so
I
strange.
couldn't resist. Couldn't resist.
It's so creepy.
Yeah.
Both beautiful and disgusting. Just had to do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
alrighty.
Imagine being embraced by that. But anyway. Because it's Twilight Throne. We have to think about these things.
Yeah.
But yeah, so definitely.
What are these powerful nobles and how do we have sex with them? Yeah.
At least kissy kisses, but yeah.
At least kissy kisses. Sure.
So true. So I'm gonna say, like, because of how everything has been set up beforehand, that's why Ada didn't have to roll or anything like that. Yeah, like circumstantial, things just played out really well. I also felt like in general, Ada like enticed, manipulated our Wolf Commander to great effect. So I think what we're going to do is, with the remaining time before the ritual begins, unless you want to keep going after that House of Ash and Flame, which is totally fine, but also like wrap up your promises, right? So, like for example, I'm going to assume that as a sign of good faith, right, from the Wolf Commander, you will be able to fulfill your promise of how the child's spark was stolen. You'll get that information at the end of the scheme.
Okay.
Right. He'll like send over the appropriate souls that will share this information with you. So there's that promise.
I have not caused suffering.
Which is good. I forgot that was a promise. But let's cut to Kavar. Would you like to? You and Eloise are doing a thing. You're distracting her, right?
I'm plying her with a drink, and asking her, because I feel like she also hasn't really been completely alone until maybe like Azrael's gone, because like the child is her entire life. It's like her entire mission. It's her reason for living. So Kavar is like trying to get to. So okay, she's leaning on this plush seat on this cushion. I think there's servants doting on them, filling up their wine cup so it's never empty. Talking to Eloise. Eloise, darling. I feel like I hardly even know who you are outside of your relationship to your child. I mean, there must have been an Eloise before, right?
It seems like that was a lifetime ago. And I think it kind of was. Like, that was back when she was with the House of Ash and Flame. And, like, it was a long time ago since she's had anything but her child in her life. And so, yeah, she's sort of like, she's drinking this glass. She drinks some of the wine, and then she shatters the glass in her hand. And when she opens it, we can see like the glass is like cut her hand. And so like the red wine is kind of mixing with the blood. And she's like, I could still bleed. That's something I didn't know. And like, she's also sort of into this. Like, she's not especially like drunk on wine, but she's sort of drunk on the like, oh, I can try these new sensations. I can do these things that I have not. really given myself license to for so
Mm.
long. So yeah, she's like, I suppose I don't know who I am either, Kavar. It's been such a long time since I've taken off the veil for anything but my duty. And somehow like take off the veil now has a double meaning. It's like obviously she becomes a horrific tentacle monster when she takes it off, but it's also like
It's freeing.
it's it's also like take off the like relaxing and
Mhm.
Question:
yes.
Was Eloise a horrible tentacle monster before she became part of the House of Blood and Bone?
I don't know. I mean, her title is the All Consumer, which is the title that they gave her. So I think that there's reason to believe that maybe she wasn't. Maybe that was something that changed in becoming, when she was taken into the new house. So yeah, I think not. I think that's a change. She must have had some other title back when she was with Ash and Flame.
Eloise, it's good to see you finally. Relax a little. Relax. It's a party. The role both of us have already played is over. Now we can truly just let our guard down and talk freely.
And she's sort of like, I feel like this is like in some like pleasure den where like everything is like these
Definitely.
loungy couches and
Yep.
whatnot. And so I think we weren't like super, super close, but she sort of like sidles up to you and she's like, let down our guard and relax, just enjoy ourselves. That sounds like something the Lustmaker would say to uh, one of her, she doesn't want to say victims because that's not the right word. One of her
Thralls?
intended, yes, one of her thralls. Do you wish to enthrall me, Kavar?
Do you want me to?
And then I think this is the moment where, like, remember earlier where you sort of revealed your feelings for Astra? She's like, I think there's someone else you'd rather have at your side.
There are plenty of pretty boys and handsome girls I have my eyes on. That doesn't mean I can't have them all, Eloise.
Well, that's true. I wouldn't be so base as to make you pick, but I feel like as much as you are exposing me to all of these new sensations, perhaps it's also you who seek something new, seek something you haven't had before.
Well, how about this? Let's play a game.
I like games.
You tell me something you've never experienced before that you would like to, and I'll do the same.
She's into it. I'm thinking. This is Sean being like, "What has Eloise never experienced?" She's 1,000-year-old. She's been between two different houses. Oh, I know what it is. Absolutely. She's like, I've never been allowed to sate myself.
Sate yourself.
Not completely.
Sate yourself on what?
I think we don't know what she was before she was, before she was Hash and Flame, but now she's the all consumer. She wants to devour, and she's afraid. I'm trying to figure out how she would say this to you, but she's afraid that if she like takes off the veil and just like goes whole hog and like just devours everything, that she would like literally eat your entire realm. Like she doesn't know how much her consumption like actually would go to if she didn't stop herself. So she says, I can't say what I used to hunger for, but now I wish to feed. Do you perhaps have one of those pocket dimensions that you care nothing for, that no longer matters? Like, wow. I think she's like, I want to eat a whole realm. Just give me like
Eloise.
a whole realm of existence. I really want to just
an entire universe, an entire plane of reality.
I've never given myself the opportunity, but I feel like that would satisfy this gnawing hunger in me. Well, you asked what is it that I have? What is it I've never given myself, and that is consuming until I have until I am sated. You don't have to deliver it
Well,
to me. That was that was, and she's sort of like you know, not backpedals, but she's like, that was an unreasonable ask for of Noble. No one could ever
unreasonable.
consume an entire realm. That would be horrific.
Can't anyone? The gods before my mother father slew them. Used to indulge in their own little cruelties, creating realms, nurturing them for millennia, and then plucking them like fruit and eating them when the harvest was ripe.
And you can like tell as you're saying that, like she's getting kind of
Hungry?
yeah, like you can tell it's working.
There's precedent for this, and I do have a consort in the form of Henrika, I believe you've met.
Oh yes,
She
she
could
seems very
perhaps
fond of you.
she could perhaps look the other way for someone she's particularly fond for as we crack open a doorway to some plane of existence that might be enough to satiate your hunger, if only for a moment longer.
And what have you? What pleasure have you denied yourself? What have you always thought that you cannot, that you have not?
I am
that
the
you've not
lust
achieved?
maker, Eloise. I don't deny myself anything.
Still, there must be something you've sought that you have not received.
Perhaps there is. Perhaps there isn't. And like Kavar's being intentionally very opaque here. Like she's not gonna give up the truth here willingly.
Oh well, but I think we agreed that we would each share the thing we
We
wanted.
did,
You
but
tell me
she's
what you got. So I think I'm like, but like as you said, our mission has accomplished, and now it is time for us to revel in the spoils of our work. Surely. And like all of the lights in the thing just dim, like it just becomes very dark in there. So there's just like a little candlelight, just like all the light in the room except for like the candles from her pauldrons are dimming. And like as to give you this feeling like it's just us, we're all alone. And you, because it's your realm, you could just like snap your fingers and make them light again. Like you could easily override this, but like in her power of blood and bone, she can just make this
Yeah,
intimate
no.
dark moment.
I think Kavar's noticing that Eloise really wants her to answer honestly, and she's like, well, Ada hasn't reported back yet, like a little bit. So she's like, all right. Well, if you must know, there is something that I desire that I cannot have. Something that is denied to all of us here in our house. True love.
She almost reels from that. It like hurts her when you say that. Like it like hurts her that that's something you can't have.
I can see the pain simmering underneath your veil, Eloise. Do not pity me. The only true love we are allowed to worship is that of our Father Mother, of course.
But,
The divine
worship
conqueror.
and love are not the same.
Aren't
You
they?
might love what you worship, but no, it's a pale reflection of love. Worship is. It's not. It's a duty you perform, not a gift that you receive.
Perhaps for your house, but here, in the house of Sword and Halo, worship and love are one and the same.
Well, I wish I had so many assets that I could share with you something that would allow you to have true love, but that's not something I can offer. If I could ever find a way to give it to you, I would gladly share it with you. It is a
Would you?
wonderful feeling. Oh yes, I wouldn't want to deprive it to anyone. Well, I mean, no, there are some I would
Well,
deprive it to, but I wouldn't deprive it from you. Go on.
There are ways to share sensations and feelings amongst nobles. And like Kavar's like starting to lean forward a little bit. And like in the back of her mind, she's like, Ada, hurry the fuck up. Like I'm trying to keep Eloise entertained as
Like,
much as I can.
keep her going.
Yep.
Keep her going.
Yep. So
Yeah.
Kavar's just gonna keep like upping the ante and keep Eloise entertained until Ada arrives, right? So she like leans forward.
I think you can just say whatever you think is happening when Ada finally shows up, because like time is fluid, right? It's like it can get like exactly as far as you want it to go before it's the perfect timing, right? Like if it's super awkward for a while, or if it's like we go off and eat nosh up a realm together. I'm totally cool with it just ending whatever you want. Ray says, or does Ada have to show up? That's evil, right? Yeah.
Like I keep forgetting we're supposed to be doing something. I'm just watching.
It goes as far as you maybe we can roll to see how far it goes.
Oh, a fortune roll. That
Sure.
sounds perfect.
Yeah.
Right. So so I'm trying to figure out, because normally 6 is the good thing. 1 is like the smaller thing. So I'm just trying to figure out what is good for me like in this situation.
Yeah.
I think like 6 is because Kavar's like, hurry up, right? 6 is like Ada shows up immediately, right?
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, okay.
I'm
So
okay with that.
I think
go ahead.
I think 1 to 3 is.
Could it
a
be we
little
do
bit
something? Could it be like we both do something we regret
I think
with
so.
each other?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's where I'm
That's
leaning.
just perfect.
Yeah.
It's just 1d6.
Yeah, that's right. It's just
I think this is like a totally like it's literally just fortune involved. Yeah.
Okay. Do I roll it or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see.
6.
6.
I was kind of rooting for a 1, but
I was too. I was sort of oh,
the dice room is like, what? Now you don't want to.
Amy shows up and each other awkwardly.
Yeah, in fact, I'm gonna say like in the moment, right, when the two of you are leaning close, all of a sudden, like so Ada, how do you interrupt this moment?
I think she just kind of like materializes over Eloise's shoulder, like looking at Kavar. Am I interrupting something?
no. No, you're not.
I mean,
And I think at that moment, like you hear like 2 people laughing, their laughter intertwining with the other, and you see Chalcedonia and Azrael like walk back, like arm in arm, like shoulder to shoulder, sort of like how like 2 people lean against each other after they've had like a little too much to drink, they've had a really good time, so on and so forth, right?
Oh, don't they make a cute couple?
yes. Yeah.
Just like through 2 daggers.
Saboteur.
I'm almost tempted to say you didn't fulfill your promise of not causing suffering.
Oh, come on.
No,
That
I'm
was
kidding.
Oh my goodness.
I'm kidding. It felt very close.
That was just a minor amount of pain.
I love it.
Not actual suffering, just a prick.
Yeah. It's got very like Hades energy for me, like watching the 2 of them arm in arm. Yeah.
Right. And so when they come close, like Azrael steps towards you. Mother, I see that because of course he's going to be polite. So he says, Mother, I see the Lustmaker has been keeping you company.
Yes, and I see the hold on. I'm going to be respectful as well in this case.
Oh, right. Chalcedonia is like,
yeah. What's his ass title? I know it. I mean,
King Seeker.
Yeah,
What?
the King Seeker.
And I say the King Seeker has been doing the same. Perhaps he has found his king.
And when you say that, the both of them laugh, and Chalcedonia says, "Oh no, that's not what we would like to happen in the house in Sword and Halo. We kill kings after torturing them immeasurably." But
Very
there's a
good.
way that he says it that sounds like he's flirting, right?
Yeah.
And Asriel says, "So you'll come by later, won't you?" And Chalcedonia says, "Of course, as we discussed." And he like bows deeply, kisses Asriel's hand, and like through the mask. Oh no, I'm gonna say like he lifts up the mask slightly to do so, which is like unheard of.
Oh my god.
Right. And then everyone stops. Everyone nearby stops. And is
Kavar's face
not
is
looking quotation mark.
Lady Whistledown is writing furiously. Oh my
And they have been
god.
watching a lot of Bridgerton recently.
Yes. Oh my god. The mask was lifted.
oh, scandal.
Scandalous.
This entire time, Kavar's face is like unchanging. She's just sort of watching, and she's gonna wait until Chalcedonia is gone to just sort of. I think only Eloise would notice that the wine glass she has, like she's like shattered it, right?
Yeah.
Like in one hand, that's it, and like, but she's like twisting her wrist, and the glass reforms and like heals itself.
Nice.
Perfect. I will
love
say
it.
though, Kavar, this is all to your benefit because Chalcedonia
I know, but
is
it's still
far too
nasty.
distracted.
I know, but it's still so nasty for
I
her.
love
Yeah.
giving players what they want.
Yeah. Here's what you want in the way that grosses you out the most.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But
Awesome.
you know, he's far too distracted. But yeah.
I think we should wrap up the scheme, right? Like I think we've done it.
We do
Yes.
have some outstanding promises, but we can
Yeah,
deal
let's
with the
review them.
fallout of
I
those.
feel like I may not have described it on screen, but I can justify completing all of mine.
Yeah.
Because I was supposed to get a part of the Avatar of Death, which I did. We saw that on screen.
You
I was supposed to
could
get the hand of the obsidian skeleton, which I sort of mentioned like, oh, I need to pick that up along the way. But since Ida's like funneled all the energy out of it, I think the obsidian skeleton did sort of crumble and like,
Oh yeah, we did establish that. I did
yeah.
describe
So
that.
I feel like taking their hand would not like, I don't know if it's okay. I'm just going to be like, and this is when I put the hand on Azrael's scepter and be like, there, your scepter, or like wrap it around the scepter, and that is now the new grip for the. I forget what we were going to do with the hand, but it was going to be some important.
To hold the scepter. Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I'm like, this is like my son's finally returned to me, and I just wrap it around. Unless you think there'd be any challenge for me to get the hand. But.
No, the obsidian skeleton is reeling from their hubris.
Yeah.
It was a crit. We have to.
Yeah.
They're not going to be functional.
So yeah, any what are the other promises that are open right now?
Yeah, so we have a few from the House of Sword and Halo, but I think there are ways we can like sneak that into because you're going to have another moment, an agenda flashback, which we're going to start with next session. So it should be doable. I'm also tempted to say because like Kavar, you have been like very, very enticing all evening. I'm going to even be willing to say the solipsist was like, you could tell me. Like we could do a roll for it to make sure they were like watching you this whole time.
Where do I find my promises again?
Oh no, it's okay, no problem.
On the houses.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I was like furiously tapping.
Yeah.
No problem. I apologize.
Row 20 through 22.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Retrieve or consume the last. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm into that. So the solipsist. I need to take a look at see what they look like if they're in the NPC.
They're very pretty.
That's the
where
first
are
of
they?
daggers. The
they're on
the head of Misha's
house.
Yeah.
Oh. The first of daggers. Ooh, they are very pretty. Okay, I would love if they were watching this whole time, and like after I crush the glass, I turn. Maybe I see them. Do I catch their eye across?
Yeah, I feel like you've been so irresistible. How are they
I know.
going
I've
to
been very sexy. I've been sexy all over the
very
place
sexy.
tonight.
You have been,
Yeah.
you have been.
So maybe to like
Yeah.
end things out here with Kavar, they just sort of say like, Eloise, I'm glad neither of us did anything we could regret. Or rather, I regret that neither of us did anything we would regret. Enjoy the wine, Ada. And we'll stand up and sort of, I think, like saunter back over to the wine bar where like she's gonna sort of like cast a casual glance over to the solipsist and like leave a stool open, like specifically, like almost like invitingly,
Oh,
like
nice.
gesture for a drink.
Oh, in fact, I think the moments you do that, like you see a lesser noble of the House of Glass and Clay suddenly appear at your side. You know, like how Ada has been doing it the whole evening, just suddenly it's like a house thing. So like suddenly a servant, a lesser noble of the House of Glass and Clay appears by your side and says, "The First of Daggers would like to see you in private, my lord."
At that, Kavar sips her like honey laced, I think. She's a whiskey girl. She's a whiskey girl. Yeah, she
Sorry,
sips her
checks.
whiskey. Yeah.
Yeah.
That checks out for me. Like, puts it down neat because she thinks on the rocks ruins it. And she nods. I know she's so pretentious.
pretentious.
I know. She turns and slides off the stool and follows.
Nice. And I think like the last thing we see is like as you do that, Astra from the crowd just following with her eyes, just gripping the sword slightly before continuing her mission for the rest of the evening. But yeah, so I think that is where we're going to end our scheme, and we're going to go into the fallout of the ritual and all these things. A few more mechanics that we're going to get introduced to. But I'm very happy with how this party played out. We will see the full demise of the House of Blood and Bone next session and what that ritual looks like.
Nice.
When the four of you gather with Mutakad to guide the house to annihilation. So good stuff. All right. So yeah, shall we do our outros starting with you, Sean?
That sounds great. Yes. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us. This has been such a fun game as always. Just being with all you rat people is the best. And I had a fantastic time. Things that I would love folks to know about. Improv for Gamers Second Edition is closing out tomorrow. So if you haven't already and you are interested, please go check it out. It's a fantastic set of over 35 exercises that help you do character building, relationship, help you build more interesting relationships. Lots of cool exercises that like get your character out of the like, what do I need for my goals, and like, what do we have in common as human beings, which really I think make for more interesting interactions it really helps you add depth to your characters. So lots of great exercises in there. I highly recommend it, and we're crowdfunding it till tomorrow, so check that out. The other thing that I am very excited about is on Friday, Big Bad Online kicks off. It is going to be 24 hours of nonstop panels with some fantastic speakers and just stuff covering all sorts of amazing topics. We have people literally from all over the world. It's just a fantastic con. It is completely free to attend. You can go to bigbadcon.com and click on the register link and you can get in. And as of literally this stream, we hit all of our funding goals for it. We had a very generous donation that came in right as the stream was starting. So I'm very happy to say that we've had our funding goals. We have all the volunteer slots filled. We have all the panels filled. So the only thing to do right now is just come check out the amazing panels and hang out with us in Discord. So yeah, it'll be great. How about you, Misha? What's going on with you?
Let's see. So I'm Misha B, she, her. You can find me on Twitter and my website. Tomorrow on this channel, Hut Cartel should be resuming. Then Saturday, I have 2 panels for Big Bad Con Online. In the morning, it's we're going to do a Get Ready With Us as we put on Black Friday appropriate outfits and chat and kind of have a coffee talk with Janae and Laura. And then in the evening, it's we're talking about what kinds of things can you do easily and cheaply to embody your character for LARP and tabletop, as you so often see me do with Janaea and Maggie Breaker. And then next week I'm running Kit Nerdly Weekend in the Woods. Lots of fun.
Nice.
That'll be fun. It's I'm the chief owlbear this year, and you only do it for 1 year, and so I'm trying not to screw it up. But it's the 13th, and 13 is one of my lucky numbers, and it's Camp Nerdly 13, so it was Kismet. So I think it's gonna be good. It'll be fine. That's what I keep telling myself. It'll be fine.
It's gonna be awesome. You're gonna have a great time. You're outside.
Yeah, it'll be fine. How about you, Cuddy?
Hey everyone, I'm Connie. I've been playing the Lustmaker Kavar, living up to her title. When I'm not here being a sexy butch lesbian, I am being a sexy butch lesbian elsewhere on the internet at Bai Connie Chong, BYCONNICHANG. My pronouns are they, he, and she. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Itch, and Ko-Fi. And also tune to my stream Saturdays at Transplanar RPG, which is an all-trans POC-led D&D show that I am the GM and creative producer for. We stream Saturdays at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. That's 7 p.m. Central. And we'd love to see your face in chat. And that's me. I'm going to pass things along over to Ray.
Hey everybody, so I'm Ray. I was so lucky to be the GM for this really amazing scheme. There was a lot of flirting, a lot of fighting, a lot of great stuff. Yeah, my pronouns are he, they, and stuff I'm excited about. I'm really excited about Big Bad Online. It's going to be so cool. I'm lucky enough to be in 2 panels. One is Breaking Systems and Capturing Inspiration with Josh Hiddy, where we talk about how we embody the inspirations we have, and so the Twilight Throne is a good example. While we're working on notes, I was like, Twilight Throne is based on a soup, right? It is flavored by Dark Souls, Wuxia, like all these different things, changing the law, so on and so forth. So yeah, and then another one with Chris and Devin, we're going to be talking about creating and publishing your first TTRPG. So that's going to be super, super fun. But there are lots of great panels. I recommend you check them out. And yeah, aside from that, big news on my Patreon recently. Just yesterday, I released the raw doc version of the Twilight Throne to my backers. So some people have been creating memes already in response. So I feel that's a good sign, right? We live in a society where memes are a good response. But yeah, so there you go. Yeah, but everything else, you can follow me on Twitter at Temporal Hiccup. I post a lot of Sailor Moon GIFs and talk about all the times I put emojis in my business emails. It's like a significant.
I've received several emails from Ray that start and they're very good. They make me very, very happy.
There was one email that was just oh my god, and that's it. I just sent it, and I was like, this is why we don't send emails at like 12 in the morning and 6 in the morning. We don't do it, folks. But anyway, so there you go. But thank you so much for playing, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out. I can't wait to see where we go at the next scheme.
Yeah, we'll watch the fall of the House of Blood and Bone. Night all.
Night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.